Los Angeles and really have Nirvana right there too.
Yes.
No need the
Beautiful.
caves of Himalayas. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the saying, enlightenment is a breath away.
Correct.
So, is one of the admins also gonna let us know if we are ready to go live, or?
Yeah, we can begin, I suppose. Yeah, Sham, you can go ahead. Yeah, we can go ahead.
Okay. Can we say, okay. Can we say a quick little, maybe something, or a little prayer?
Yeah.
A blessing?
Sure, go for it.
Yeah.
Frank.
Not me, huh?
Come on, Frank.
Yeah, great.
Well, I just set the intention to heal a lot of people with this conference, and to reach a lot of people, and to deliver our message of peace together.
Affirms for me.
So, looks like we are live now. We're gonna watch a quick video first.
Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar has brought the science of inner transformation to the farthest corners of the world. His meditation and breathwork techniques have touched the lives of over 450 million people in 156 countries, helping people to let go of stress, anxiety, and negative emotions. Gurudev has also been instrumental in finding new roads to peace and mediation in areas of conflict.
Sri Sri Ravi Shankar and the Art of Living Foundation are heralds of peace in a planet tormented by conflicts and violence.
He inspires the highest human values of compassion, love, and community by uniting people of different backgrounds in a spirit of service and harmony. He has shown again and again that the whole world is indeed one family.
So, welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you're joining us in the world today. My name is Jitesh Vaswani, and I would like to welcome everyone to an amazing and a very special session that we have for you. Today, we're joined together by Modern Nirvana, created by Frank, Bryant, and Kat. And together they are in conversation with none other than Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. Modern Nirvana was created with the goal of being a catalyst for transformation. They help people find their own individual peace and nirvana through modern practices that can be accessed on their YouTube channel and also at their annual conference. A little bit about who do we have on this session today. We have Frank Elaridi. Frank, who is a four-time Emmy-winning journalist and a greatly known YouTube personality. We have Kat Graham, who is a world-renowned actress and a high-profile supporter of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. We also have with us Bryant Wood, a master breathwork instructor, influencer, and a dear friend. So we welcome you, Frank, Kat, and Bryant, and our special guest for the event, Gurudev. What an incredible blessing to have your presence in this session today. From resolving major political conflicts to reestablishing human values and diversity throughout the world, to even attending to personal topics from everyday people, millions around the world look up to you, myself included, and I'm sure all of us included on this call. And Gurudev, you've started several nonprofits and countless pro-social initiatives, which includes at the heart of it, the Art of Living Foundation, which is present in over 156 countries. And your programs rooted in ancient techniques of yoga, meditation, especially the Sudarshan Kriya, the sky breathing technique, such an impactful evidence-based practice, and it has touched the lives of millions. We thank you for conceiving it and also for sharing this gift with all of us around the world. And lastly, I would like to welcome and say a hello to everyone who is watching this session live from your homes.
Mm.
It's great to have you with us. And without further delay, I would like to hand it over to Frank to take this conversation forward. Over to you, Frankie.
Yes, Jitesh, thank you so much. What a beautiful introduction. And you've been such a supporter of Modern Nirvana from the beginning, so we thank you for that. You know, Modern Nirvana is a brand new company, but it has an ancient goal of seeking truth and seeking nirvana through all kinds of practices, such as this one, doing a Zoom call with a guru who is so 21st century. And it's amazing. And that's what Modern Nirvana is about. And Gurudev, we want to thank you as well, because all of us have been touched, Bryant, Kat, and I, by sky breathing and by the coursework that you've created. So thank you so much for being here. And if it's okay, I'll jump in with my first question. One of the many blessings of having Modern Nirvana is that we get to connect with thought leaders and gurus like yourself. And we just saw in that video how incredible of an impact you've had on the world and all the amazing initiatives you are doing on the planet. But I want to know what the younger version of yourself was like, maybe a teenage Shri Shri, when the rest of us were stressing out about school and falling off our bikes. What were you doing?
As teenage, I think my teenagers still continue, by the way. I was quite mischievous. And you know that there was a mischief factor that was very much ingrained in me, but that mischief would never harm anybody. I was very high on non-violence because as a kid, I grew up with people who spent time with Mahatma Gandhi. So I grew up with the stories of non-violence and Mahatma Gandhi's movement of non-violence, those sort of thing, and lots of spiritual stories. And so I was quite playful, mischievous, and at the same time, very deep person. I always felt not everybody is understanding what I'm saying or what my tastes are. That was my issue, you know.
Yeah, very relatable too. Bryant, you had a question about fear and how to transmute it. Do you want to ask Gurudev?
Yes, thank you, Gurudev, and thank you everyone for being here. We were curious, how can you recognize fear? And then what is a good technique or way to transmute it?
You know, this is like asking, how do you know if it is noon time?
Mm-hmm.
When there is fear, it's something that takes over you. You don't need to struggle to recognize it. It glares you like the pain in your leg or pain in your head, you know, like a headache. It just dawns on you and then it takes over your whole system. Now, what is that we can do? How to control it? This is an issue. Here, if we attend to our breath, we will be able to get over fear, because fear is not just a sensation in the chest heart region, it also has a definite breathing pattern associated with it.
Mm.
If you attend to breath at that moment, the same fear, it is just the energy that just flips over and you start feeling a lot of love. Or I feel this one energy appears in three forms: love, hate, or fear. When you have fear, then there is no love or hate. When there is hatred, there is no fear or love. When there is love, the other two are missing. So we can convert fear into an all encompassing feeling or experience of love.
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
So
it's good you are teaching people breathing. You might have
Yes.
experienced it. When people are
Yes,
scared, you ask them to take deep breaths and they just come out of it, isn't it?
exactly. Thank you.
And why don't we piggyback off that a little bit, Brian? You had a third question, or sorry, second question about energy and contagious energy. Ask us about that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Frank. Gurudev, we were also wondering, we all know energy is contagious. And when we're around negative energy, what are some precautions we can take to protect ourselves?
See, when the energy in our system, it moves up, it is positive. The same energy, when it goes in the spiral, downward spiral, uh, we experience is that negative energy. Now, if you are experiencing some negative energy, don't need to be scared, don't need to run away from it, don't need to be paranoid about it. Just sit down and take few deep breaths and meditate or sing. Take your guitar and start singing, or play flute, or play piano. If you engage yourself in any of the musical activity, you will see the negative energy changes. This is one way. There is another way to change the negative energy is engage yourself in some sort of service activity. Uh, when we express more compassion, which we all have, I don't see there is anybody on this planet who does not have compassion. They simply don't express it, that's all. So when we start expressing our compassion, you'll see all this negative energy, they just get blown away. Yeah.
Mm. Speaking of service, you just mentioned service. Kat has done so much work with refugees across the world. And you, of course, have done incredible humanitarian work yourself. Kat did have a question about, I guess, what inspires your mission. Kat?
Hi, Gurudev. It is an honor. It is such an honor to be with you this morning. I don't even have the words to express how profound this is. So that being said, I am very inspired by your international missions, and I want to know what inspires you to go into countries that are affected by conflict and trying to help them find solutions, resolutions.
When you don't just limit your identity to the country you are born, or you are brought up, or you are domiciled, and when you consider the entire globe as part of your family, then nothing will stop you from going anywhere. See? And this all we had to start from here. When you start feeling connectivity, feel that connection with people from all over the world, as though they're all part of you, part of your family, then you can't but go there and help when there is crisis. Like you are doing, you are doing so much work for refugees with the United Nations. And United Nation itself is that platform where it brings people from all over the world, right? All the countries together on one platform. It is an organization where politics are discussed, economy is discussed, but I think seldom people think about the human values and uniting people on an emotional level. Here, cultural and spiritual work will definitely help. Culture and spirituality is that which unites people with their center core of their heart. So they feel more connected, more united. If that is taken care, I tell you, everything else will fall in places.
Mm.
What do you say? Don't you think
Thank you.
so?
I absolutely agree with you. I am right there with you on that.
And Gurudev, you mentioned a little bit about national identity and looking beyond just your own national borders. But right now in the United States, as probably across the world, but right now in the United States, there is a feeling of separation. The country is waiting for the results of an election, and all of this in the middle of a global pandemic. What would you say to people who are maybe feeling a sense of separation or anxiety about the future or the outcome of specifically the election, but also life in general?
See, America has a very vibrant system, very vibrant democracy, and people are really, really good. This is just a time, a passing phase in the history where there are differences of opinion, and that is motivated by political interests. So we must see beyond this. When election comes and then the politicians talk in different tunes.
Mm.
But once the election is over, then you will see that everybody's concern changes. Then they're concerned about other things than this. So we must know that this battlefield is only a temporary phase, and so not to lose our awareness, not to lose our emotions and our faith in the justice system that we have in our society. Especially in US, there is place for everyone to play. And though we appear to be divided at this juncture of time, in reality there is a lot of unity. Right now, when the whole movement of Black Lives Matters began, it was supported by people of all communities, from all colors and all walks of life. So that itself shows that America, in its core value, has honor for diversity, has respect for diversity, and it has justice and equality for everybody. So, since our founding fathers of America has already laid down certain basic principles of justice, equality, and all that, uh, I mean, it is well rooted in the society, so we don't need to doubt that. If we start doubting it, we'll be harming our own society. Number one. Second thing is, yes, when the society is so divided on political lines and party lines, there'll be heartburn, there'll be disappointment to somebody, some party, and there'll be victory for others. This is the time where we have to exercise maximum restraint about our feelings, our emotions, will not take to streets, keep ourselves calm, and believe in the democratic process and know that justice will prevail. This is something that we all have to hold on to. The high temper and emotions need to be calmed down. I'm sure at this time when people start taking deeper breaths and meditate and think ways to overcome whatever they feel is not fair with a calm collective mind, rather than jumping into the streets and doing something which is um, more harmful than do any good to anybody. What do you say? Do you agree with me, Frank?
I do agree. I agree. I agree. Don't take the streets. Stay in and see the bigger picture is what I'm hearing. The bigger picture of democracy and of trusting the system. I want to ask you also, we talked a little bit off of this call about modern Nirvana, and the idea was that you don't have to go live in a cave in the Himalayas anymore for 30 years in order, and that's the only way to reach enlightenment. We can find other modern ways of reaching that state. What would you recommend to people that they can do right now who are watching at home, who might think, well, I can't go to India for 6 months right now? What would you say is a good tool for them to start? I know probably breathwork and sky, which I did during quarantine. Actually, I took the sky course, and it really helped me a lot. So I know that that's one way. What would you recommend to people?
Yeah, of course, the sky technique is very, very practical, doable, and quickly learnable, and it gives results immediately. That's one thing. Because first is you need to be, even before aspiring nirvana, you need to feel free from stress and day to day fatigue. If you are fatigued mentally, physically, forget about nirvana. What you will get is a sleep. Even that you don't get. So first you need to sleep well and take care of that thing. Then second is um, right there, wherever you are, see life from a broader perspective. See your life from a bigger framework, as I would say, you know, see how many years you have been here, how many years you plan to be here more, you know. If you
Mm.
have a timeline of your own life, if you plan for your whole life from birth to the graveyard, from you know, from your maternity ward to the graveyard, this journey we call life, how you want to plan it, what all you want to achieve it, and how you want to handle the challenges that comes to you. Just a few minutes contemplation on this can remove a lot of cobwebs that surround our intellect, you know, our mind. And then ask yourself, who am I? You know, what is that I want? What are my goals? What do I want to give? How I should be remembered in my life, after my life also. So these questions can definitely kindle, you know, that level of consciousness in us,
Mm.
which takes us beyond our limited identity to truly who we are and where we are. You know, nirvana is finding that bliss within you, that freedom that you have always been looking for. And all this can be right there where you are. I can see a big mirror behind you. See, we have mirror, but we are not facing them. The moment you turn yourself and face the mirror, then you know, you realize this is exactly what we need to do. Every bud has all that it needs to blossom. It just need a little more patience, a little wait, and you will see that bud is going to bloom.
How much of that would you say is control and how much of it is faith? Like just having faith that everything will work out the way it's supposed to, as opposed to having control and saying, I'm going to meditate every day for, 20 minutes, or I'm going to, have a planner and organize everything. What would you say is faith and control?
No, you both are essential in life. You know, when you are driving, you need to have full control of the car you are driving, right? So, and then you need to have faith and confidence. You know the route, you know how to drive. So, you can't drive the car if you don't have the faith that you can drive. In the same way in life, you need both discipline and freedom. They are two sides of the same coin. Just like, you know, as a kid, you are forced to brush your teeth, right?
Right.
That was actually robbing the freedom of a kid when mother forces, hey, take your brush and look, now you have to brush your teeth, you know. It was pain for every child to do it. But that discipline brought us freedom from toothache and tooth problems. So we could keep all our teeth, right, when we grow up. So discipline always, same with diet, food, you know, if you don't have certain restriction about your own food and don't do exercise, you know where you end up, you know. You will have obesity and you have other issues, problems. So freedom from health issues come when we follow some discipline, right? See,
Right.
now you are very slim, and because you follow certain diet and you just don't go and you know, take in many burgers and many ice creams, and then you won't be in the shape that you are in,
No,
right?
we were all,
The
we're
ice cream
all
would be.
we all have pretty good vegan diets, but I will say as a kid, I was really mischievous and I had a lot of cavities.
It's okay to have few days, but you know, if we make that as a habit, definitely, you know, we'll not be in shape.
Yeah.
So we need to balance that both. See, our body needs restrictions,
Mhm.
whereas the mind needs freedom, and we are combination of both body and spirit. So when you sit for meditation, you have to simply let go.
Yeah. I know that Kat loves you as we all do very much, and she had a couple, two kind of personal level questions. for you. I'd love to see you guys just have that conversation.
Yes, thank you, Frankie. I have two that because I've done a bit of research, but I hadn't been able to find these two answers online, and I was wondering what is one thing that no one would expect to know about you, Gurudev?
What is the one thing that?
One thing that
Pardon?
no one would expect to know about you.
Expects to know.
Expect to know.
Expect to know.
Like
They
if
want to
you
know.
love to ride bikes, or you're a avid skateboarder, or you love skydiving, or just something that would just blow people's
Something
minds.
that people don't know. Yeah, I don't know that because I'm like an open book. Anything I do, it gets to be known in the media and social media. Even if I sneeze and people ask, why are you sneezing? So,
uh,
so I don't know because I take interest in everything in arts, in culture, in sports, in gym, in meditation, in service activity, in talks, in education, all this. Uh, what is that I don't know, that what others don't know about me.
Those are definite goals. And speaking of goals, my other question, I believe it's probably one of my last questions for you, is again personal, but what is the ultimate? I know you have your ultimate goal for the world, right? For mankind and this omni existence, but what is your ultimate goal for yourself?
See, if I have had some goal other than seeing a smile on everybody's face, I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't be sitting where I am. You know, when you see a nice movie, by the way, congratulations, you are going to launch your movie today, right?
Yes, yes.
Today, congratulations. See, when
Today's
you
the day.
see a nice movie, what is your natural tendency? Is to call others and say, hey, I saw a great movie. You should watch this, right? You don't get
Yeah.
anything. I mean, nobody is going to pay you by you advocating a nice movie which you have enjoyed by sharing it with others, right? So, in the same way, when you find the ultimate joy, the truth in your own consciousness, your own life, all that you do is you want to share it with everybody. And there is no other goal than that. That makes it more effective, impactful. And if you keep wanting to have something for you, that means uh, the cake is not yet fully baked.
Maybe you have to come back a couple more times.
oh, that's a good question. Are you planning on coming back, Gurudev?
Oh, I might. Yeah, why not? Why not?
Mm.
If the world needs me, I come back. I'm here, nothing, not for myself a bit, not even 0.11%. I'm
Mm.
here for everybody, and I want everyone to utilize my whatever I'm saying and be happy. That's the only goal. See a smile on every face and make people realize we are one global family and life is not struggle, but it could be celebration. This is our motto. Life is a celebration. Let us acknowledge this and let us celebrate this diversity. You know, usually people talk about tolerance. I don't like the word tolerance. You know why? Because is a word that is little with a negative connotation. You tolerate things which you don't like, right?
Yeah.
So tolerance is not what is desirable. What is desirable is celebration. Celebrate the diversity and spread love and be in love. That's all I would say.
You're gonna make me cry.
Yeah.
That's a great goal.
So beautiful. Yeah. Especially when you said, I'm not even here for myself, 0.001%.
Mm.
The last question, I guess, that we'll ask before we get to some viewer questions that we have is Bryant wants to ask a question about the path to healing.
Yeah, Gurudev, I think this is a good transition. What is the greatest path of healing and ascension? And what is the importance of choosing a path?
Healing is because we are concerned about the body-mind complex, which time and again has wear and tear due to situations, circumstances, and events that has a glare on it. But in reality, if you go into the very core of your existence, you are pure light. So you heal yourself very well. And the path is reaching out, getting out of this cobweb that we have woven around us and going to the central core of our existence. And this is what is the importance of path. In the path, what happens, certain things you can do it yourself. Certain things you need help. Like you go to a spa. What do? You just lie on the table and the masseur takes over and they do the rest of the work to keep your body fit. Correct? In the same way, yeah. Suppose you are a doctor, you can't do an operation on yourself. You need someone's help. So community, a group, a path will all aid to you to progress well in your path. So sitting alone and meditating is very good. It's needed. But sometimes if you sit in a group of 10, 15, 20 together and if you meditate, you will see there is a qualitative difference because there is a collective consciousness which is impacting your individual consciousness also. So this is why Lord Buddha said, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. He said the Sangha means the group, communion, where you all sit with others and start meditating and with the same wavelength of mind, of wisdom, of knowledge, of compassion. That creates a higher energy around you and which in turn help your own evolution. So these are all part of our life. So being in a path is very, very useful, especially in the turbulent times when you don't know what to do, when you are in bigger confusion. Just that energy will uplift you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Jitesh, do you want, or any admin, do you want to play some questions that we have from viewers?
Sure, I'll do that, Frank.
Okay.
Hello, I wanted to ask your advice for those going through college or in any walk of life having uncertainty about what exact path they want to go down and what they want to pursue. And along with that, having confidence in trusting that you'll end up in the right place you're supposed to be and what that process looks like for taking the steps to figure that out. Thank you.
Okay, look, you have something called intuition, right? A gut feeling. Sometimes you feel, I take this and it's going to work for me very well. You need to invoke this ability within you. You have it. How that can happen is when you sit for meditation, when you calm your mind down. Okay, what are the options in front of me? Number one, number two, number three. Which would help me most? You sit and meditate few minutes, then you will come up with the right answer. Most of the time you'll come with the right answer with that. But sometimes if you miss and you end up regretting your choice, I have an advice for you. Do not regret the past, regret your choice, because you have grown with that also. Every step you have taken, you have only moved forward You have grown and you have become somewhere very strong. And as young people, we all have, I'm also counting myself as young, so though I have become gray. But what I'm saying, young people have all possibilities. You can do this, you can do this, you can do many things. Do not underestimate your ability to do multitasking. You have this ability to do multitasking. You know, only when you forget this, that you can do many things, that's when you can end up regretting, oh, I should have done this, I shouldn't have done this, I should have chosen engineering over medical, or if you are in medicine, then you say, oh, I should have taken accounts. Always the other shore appears more greener. So I would say that if you meditate, your intuitive abilities will become very strong. Then your choice will be such you will not regret it at all.
If I may ask also, thank you for that. I know Jitesh has something he wants to say too, but if I may ask, when you mentioned intuition and trusting your intuition, right? When you're making a decision, a lot of times in meditation, when I'm sitting there, I will say to myself, I am aware of my breath. I am aware of the present moment. And a lot of times I say, I am aware of my intuition. And when I say that, my focus goes straight to my intuition. Do you have any kind of tip that or advice that you would give somebody on how to tap into your intuition?
Yeah, here, not while you are meditating. While you are meditating, you should just drop everything and relax.
Oh, going into
When
meditation,
you,
sorry, going into it.
well, otherwise, you will only be sitting and thinking of what you want to do. Actually, meditation is really becoming and getting into the empty space, just letting go of everything. When you come out of meditation, that is when intuition comes up.
Mm.
So,
So don't try to
yeah,
do anything. Just don't try. Zero effort.
nothing, nothing, nothing. See, when you take shower, you don't put on your t-shirt,
Mm,
right? Only when you come out of the shower, then you use your towel. You can't take your towel and have shower.
right.
So, uh, like that, when you meditating, you have to just let go of everything. And when you are out of meditation, intuitive ability is something which naturally comes from within. So there is no confusions, all simply vanish. Yeah.
Mm, okay. I know we're in for a real treat. We're going to meditate with you. But Jitesh, do you want to piggyback off the college students' question?
Yeah, actually talking about college students and intuition, Gurudev, now science and research from like recent research from Yale University, University of Arizona, and Harvard are showing the benefits of like sky breath. And like the recent research is actually showing that the sky breath has one of the greatest impacts on 6 well-being factors. And that's something that you came up with almost 40 years ago, in a deep state of meditation using your intuition. um, do you have any comments on that, like how science is validating what you conceived so many years ago and are sharing with the whole world?
Timeless wisdom is always pro science. Science will always validate those which are timeless wisdom. That's why we call that timeless wisdom also. It stands the test of time. And it's nice to see from a scientific angle. On one level, we have seen the impact of that in people all over the world. People are getting these benefits. But now it has been documented with a control group in process, scientifically validated documents. That has its own value, and people appreciate that even more, especially in the West. But whereas the impact of it we have seen in day-to-day life, millions of people around the world. So it gives us all the more, impotence to see that more and more people get benefit of this.
Beautiful. Thank you. And I also wanted to acknowledge the Sky Campus community here in the US. We are in over 72 campuses, is what I hear right now. And your program is being taught and has been adapted in the universities by the students. And
You
That's
know,
amazing.
this is very much needed today. If you see the young population around the world, they are swinging in two opposite directions. On one side, a lot of our young people are getting affected by depression. And that too in this lockdown and COVID time, depression is on high. It's rising. On the other side, you find a lot of aggression and violence among the young community, youth, among the youth around the world. From Argentina to Japan to Mongolia, we find the suicide rate are rising among young people. Here, because we have not attended to the basic thing, how the breath and the mind can make an impact in one's life. So, here, meditation and breathing can help people to smile more and make themselves confident of, you know, steering their own life. You know, they are in control of their emotions. They are able to have a say over their moods. They are able to do what they want to instead of feeling a sort of victim of situation or circumstances or their own moods, their own mind. The mental health should be the first priority today in the world. And I'm happy that so many universities are taking this up and seeing that our young lives are shining because they are the hope of the world and they need to be happy and healthy. Let's all together work to raise the happiness index in the world. What do you say? Good idea?
Great idea.
great idea.
Absolutely.
Great idea.
Very
It would be amazing if we could do that in elementary schools too, when they're really
Yeah.
young. Yeah. May I ask you one more question that just came up to me about we hear so much from many cultures. My family's Middle Eastern. I've heard it in Indian cultures, and now even in the United States and Western countries, talk a lot about the third eye, third eye, third eye. We keep seeing it, but there's so many different things of what that means and how to open it or awaken it and why you would want to do that. I would love to hear from the source, someone who is actually knowledgeable about this. What is the true potential of the pineal gland or the third eye? What is the potential there? And do we want to open it?
Frank, to be frank, actually, there are a lot of
Yes.
stuff out there and promising 3 minutes will open your third eyes. And for God's sake, we should not venture into this sort of thing. You know, people end up having energy imbalances and their head start spinning and all sorts of um, issues, you know, challenges they start facing later on. A third eye is definitely is that intuitive ability within you, a faculty which gets developed naturally as you move deep into meditation. You know, and it should be these, you know, further knowledge about this has to be studied systematically in a proper guidance. And you know, it's like you cannot learn surgery all by yourself looking at a do it yourself book. You have to go to a college and work with a professor, learn it properly and get an authenticity from them. They have to certify you, only then you become a surgeon. In the same way, if you want to learn more about your chakras and the third eye thing, you have to be a little careful. And I mean, it's not a rocket science, it's easy if one can do it, but you
Yeah.
have to follow certain guidelines, certain rules. Otherwise, you end up going to psychiatric department and taking lots of pills about that, you know, to
Interesting.
get back to normal. Yeah. So I would recommend people do your breathing, alternative breathing exercises. Rest well, take care of your diet, meditate twice or thrice a day, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And then you will understand a lot about the chakras. There are 172,000 channels of energy in our body. We have points of energy all over our body, in our palms, in our cheeks, in our ears, in our throat, in our head. All these energy points, they all bring a different flavor into your system, different abilities in you. You can you can do away with just 2 hours or 3 hours of sleep. You can go without sleep for a few days also. You can go without food for a few days. All these abilities are there in us. But while invoking these abilities, we need to be very uh, careful, systematic, and see, even to learn flying, you need to have practiced several hours, right? And with the experienced pilot by your side. In the same way, with third eyes, I wouldn't like people to venture looking into some
Yeah.
hoogie boogie sort of thing and get into sort of
Yeah.
trouble. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah. It can be
Thank you
dangerous.
for that.
Thank you.
That
Yeah.
is my frank opinion. That's
You, we have actually never made a joke of Frankie's name, but now that you've started it, it's on.
Yeah.
Well, Gurudev said it, so
Right.
get ready. Frank,
Exactly.
to be frank, do we have more questions?
It's up to you. So, Kat, Brian, anything else from you guys?
Oh.
I'd love to open it up
Yeah.
to our audience for sure.
Chitesh, did you
That's
have
awesome.
any more videos to play?
Yeah, we have one more question from one of our viewers. Maybe we can take that.
Okay.
Hi, Guruji. I'm wondering if you
Hi.
can help me with my problem.
And what's your name?
Oh,
I
this is
have
a
a hard
recording. His name
time
is Sasha.
taking
Okay,
action
He sent the
without
recording in
purpose. If you
yesterday.
can help me with my problem. I have a hard time taking action without purpose. And most of the time I feel purposeless. And I wonder, is there an ability to still take action and find peace without a sense of purpose?
Now, I think we should go in the reverse process. Just note down what is not the purpose of your life. You make a list of all that which is not the purpose of your life. You're not here just to waste your time. You're not here just to be sad and upset. You're not here just to only think about yourself all the time. So if you list all this, which is not the purpose of your life, I tell you, you will arrive at what really the purpose in your life. Okay? Know one thing for sure. If you sit and think only about yourself, what about me, what about me, what about me, this is the mantra to get depressed. If you want to be upset, think only on this. What about me? What about me? What about me? If you keep thinking on only about yourself, you will end up depressed. If you can think what you can do to people around you, how you can uplift people around you, instead of thinking what will I get, if you change that, how can I contribute to the world, to people around me, I would say you'll be much happier person, and you will definitely find a purpose there. See what you can do, what you can contribute to the world, to people. What do you say? Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sure he loves that.
Okay, lovely, wonderful being with you all.
You too.
And
Gurudev, would it be too much to ask for a short little meditation?
Before we do that, sorry, Gurudev, I just want to say this for our audience. Modern Nirvana was really created out of two people, really, and obviously consciousness. But the art of living really brought us in. And, you know, Bryant had reached out to Jitesh, and you guys housed our first conference. It was just a conference. It was really just for B-roll for an episode of a show that we're doing with Deepak Chopra about consciousness. But we did not have a place to do this conference, to bring young people together. And the Art of Living was really our sanctuary to do that, to bring people in. So I just want to express extreme gratitude to you, to Jitesh, for not just opening the doors, but also teaching us sky breathing, and just everyone that works with the Art of Living and everyone that is a part of it, that it really was the birth of Modern Nirvana, the conference, and then everything that came out of it, because you guys were a house for us. So I just want to express gratitude to you and everything that you've done with that organization to help people like us bring the youth closer to you and the teachings that you bring to the world. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I belong to you, to every one of you. You know, there is in the YouTube, there are a number of meditations I have done. I've already recorded and put 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes for various things. And you can enjoy, you can, you know, Jitesh will guide you into that. And he's a good meditation teacher. Maybe he
He's
can
great.
conduct a short 10 minutes meditation with you all. So I take leave of you all. Oh, okay, thank you. Lovely
Gurudev.
being with you. Lovely
I
being
belong
with
to you.
Me too.
Thank you, Gurudev, for being here with us. And with the whole Art of Living community in the US, we are also very lucky to be hosting you again with more than 300 programs of meditation being taught in December, on the December 4th weekend. And we are very lucky that you'll be hosting a session too there. And if anybody is looking for it, they can, of course, visit our website at artofliving.org. And
that's still far away. There's still a lot of time, but they can do it even before. You can do a good job.
That's true. You don't need to wait.
Bye.
Bye, Gurudev. Thank you. So I want to thank you guys also, Frank, Bryant, and Kat.
Awesome!
That was wonderful.
I know
Thank you,
it's still
Jitesh.
live, but that was awesome.
Yeah, so good.
That was so awesome.
It's so amazing. So amazing. We had 1,000 more questions.
Yes. I lost track of time.
I'm glad that that we were able to do this, and maybe we can, all of us can maybe go on a different call. Maybe we can meditate together. And
That'd be wonderful.
for those of
Thank
you
you
who
for
were
this.
joining us, I don't know if we are still live, but if you're watching this live, then thank you for joining us. And lovely being with everyone today.
Yes, check out Art of Living and our next conference. Whenever we are able to group a bunch of people together again, we will definitely be hosting it at the Art of Living. So they're a part of our family. Please follow them and support them. Thank you so much, Jitesh.
Thank you, Jitesh.
And also, as Gurudev Shri mentioned, today, Kat's movie, Operation
yes!
Crop does come out. So watch that too.
It's out. Yes, please watch it.
Me and Brian are going to watch it tonight.
Definitely.
I'm very excited. Yes, thank you guys for everyone that's watching it today. Hopefully you meditated first.
Yeah, or meditate
And
right
then you
now.
watch
Get a
it.
couple moments. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank
Are
you,
we live
everybody.
still?
Jitesh,
I don't know if
thank
we're
you.
still live. Yeah.
I don't know. All right.
Yeah. Cool.
Bye, everyone. You guys, if we can talk on Zoom or whatever.
Maybe cover the other